Hello, and welcome to the About Healing podcast, a show created for those on or awakening into their spiritual journeys, and who are ready, wanting, and learning how to heal themselves. I am your host, About Healing medium and certified spiritual healer, Sheree Buckman. It is my purpose to guide others to the path of self-healing and to inspire those on their spiritual journeys in finding their truths. Join me as I share my experience and unfiltered perspective in healing, as well as the incredible wisdom of the loving energy that guides us. Let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are so excited to come back. Well, I say we. I know I'm excited. I can't speak for Copper.
Of course.
Now, are you just saying that to make me feel better, or are you like really feeling that?
No, it's nice to be back in the chair.
You know, this has been a great break. We really needed it because, you know, this weekly podcast thing, I mean, it's never stop. It's go, 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 go. However, with this break, I'm so ready. I feel revived and ready, even though I've been working this whole time, honestly, just not in podcast. But so much is happening and so much is growing in the world of About Healing, my LLC. And so we do have a big announcement in a few minutes that we'll get to that I'm so excited to share. However, I want to get into this. Like, we're on season 3, Copper.
I know. I typed when I went to create the studio for the recording this morning, I typed in season 3 instead of season 2. I'm like, what? I feel like we literally just started. So it blows my mind how far you've come.
Well, we've come. You were so a part of this, because if there's growth in me and how I speak or how I do this, it's because it is all Copper who is like, Sheree, focus.
Slow down.
Slow down. And this is all Copper too. So there's no way I can take all of that credit. Absolutely no way. But we started to have this conversation off the air, and I was like, nope, we're going to save it and we're going to keep it as like raw as possible for it, because this is really big excitement. Because I think we were talking in, was it the first season? Yeah, like the second half of the first season, and how big it was for a podcast to even make it, past 15 episodes or something like that?
They just don't. Yeah.
And honestly, actually, I think we need to look at it. I think we're close to being our 50th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Are we?
Very
We
close.
might be. If we're not there, we're like an episode or two away. Like we're right there. So, and yet we're still young and just going. And you know what? Something beautiful happened while we were on this break in between season 2 and season 3. One thing I noticed as, again, we had no new episodes going out. So there's nothing out there going out, people getting reminded or to listen in. It's just social media. I just post on social media. Hey, you know, I did my whole favorite episodes posts. I did a series of my favorite episodes on social media during the break, which was great. But the beautiful part that happened was we would go back and I started noticing our numbers completely maintained in our downtime. With no new releases, we were still hitting, our numbers just kept going, which means what, Copper?
That people like us.
Or they're curious, or
I think that's an amazing sign that we are doing the right thing. We're on the right path.
We're doing something, especially after our super heavy second season. That was a really heavy season. But yeah, I mean, that means we're growing. And the reason I'm sharing this too, because it's amazing. And you guys are all a part of that growth. And so I have to take a minute and I have to send you love and I have to send gratitude to all of you, because that is the only reason that this keeps going. It's you guys. And that means that the word is spreading. You know, you are telling people and people are starting to listen, and it's going. And so I have to tell you about now what our season 3 is about. Season 3, I have changed it a little bit again. So, but we're finding that pattern, and we're finding it, and that's where because we're still a young podcast. And while season 1 was all over the place with our topics, that was all over, but it was fun. Again, it was a way to learn how to do this and kind of find. It's where I was finding my voice and the podcast was finding its voice, honestly. And then season 2, I went really heavy. I don't regret this in any way, shape, or form. Season 2 needed to happen. I could feel it. That's what I was guided to do, was do a whole season essentially on awakening, on the process of awakening, on the self-healing journey and all those pieces that happen with it. But now that that's done, and I feel that like it's out of my system, that big piece, we get to have some fun. So season 3 is more fun. I'm breaking up the heavy. We're breaking it up. And we are going to have some fun. We're going to have interesting topics. And we're having more guests. So it's going to be so fun. So yes, the guests. We have experts planned to come on this season, coming in to talk about all things healing and spiritual. And it's going to be amazing. And then we're going to have more spiritual topics. So yes, we're bringing in more of that fun and the things that you're probably wanting to know more about. And then we're adding a new fun fact episodes. So I think with every season, I will change the facts. But this season, on the fun fact episodes, we're doing a chakra series. So on those, we'll take, there will be 7 of them total in the season. So we'll break it down with each chakra and we will learn more about that. And then we're going to have more meditations, because those have been popular, the meditation. So we're going to add some more. We'll do some different ones. And then, of course, we're going to keep having some of those healing topics, because that is what this is about too. So they'll be thrown in there too and everything mixed up. On to the big announcement. I can feel myself geeking out. It's a big announcement in the fact that I'm so excited. Next year, I am hosting and creating an About Healing retreat. This is huge in the fact and the why I'm getting so excited, and I can feel so emotional right now with this. Like, this is my heart and soul. Creating this is something that I have felt drawn to, felt guided to, feeling that this is such a big part of me that needs to be created. But it's not about me. It's just something that I know I've needed to create, that I feel guided to create. And so this About Healing retreat is a spiritual wellness event to revitalize the healers of our community, to support them on their journeys of inspiration and raising the collective consciousness. This event is going to be held on Saturday, April 20th of 2024. Yes, it's a long way away. This is your save the date. This is that little piece that I'm going to throw out there as your teaser, because there's so much more that goes with this. This event is going to be held at the JW Marriott Hotel in downtown Grand Rapids in Michigan, people. This is a luxury hotel because this is going to be an amazing luxury event to take care of those who do the healing. And it's going to be a day full of workshops by other amazing light workers. There's going to be amazing gourmet food, optional spa services, and it's going to be a place to network and build a community of like-minded, beautiful souls. So to keep up to date with these, of course, throughout the season, and as we get a little bit closer, I will probably be throwing some more hints and some more info as we get going. But you can continue to follow on my website, About Healing Medium. There will be a whole separate tab for the retreat. So go there for updates at any time. I don't know. Any more you want to add to that, Ms. Copper?
I'm just really excited. I'll be there.
Do you hear that? She's flying in from Texas.
Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yes, this is going to be amazing. And you guys want to know who else is going to be there? Well, obviously me, because, I live here and this is my event. I know that Miss Katie Sass, one of the originals of the podcast too, will be there. So if you are looking forward to meeting us or being a part of this or finding others, you don't have to be in the spiritual world for this. Yes, we'll have a lot of spiritual topics in it, but this is caregivers. This is for therapists, counselors, nurses, doctors, parents. You're a parent. You're a light worker yourself. This is for everyone out there that feels drawn. That's what it's for. And that's what this is about. And it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be amazing. And it is all self-care. And I can't wait. Woo. Although I'll be working most of it, but still.
Yeah, but in a way, working is a little bit of your own self-care, if we're being completely honest.
I mean, truly, I told Copper as we got on to record this episode, I'm like, I needed that break, but I need this again. I need to be back on the podcast. I need to just keep talking and talking. I need to let it all out. But that brings me honestly into the topic for today. And this is, while we had so much in this intro, but this really set up the topic of what I had planned to talk about. I mean, really, I didn't plan it to all mesh together, but it just did as it flowed out. Again, divinely led. That's how it works. I don't question it anymore. It just happens. But I want to talk about community because this is such an important topic. There was a time in our human evolution when our life literally depended on being a part of a community. We're going way back. In those caveman days, it was basic survival 101. It was to fit in and be accepted into a community so you can be invited into the cave for shelter, for safety and security, or you die in the elements. And so as part of that survival tactic, this was truly a dire exchange that you had to do, and you would do anything to fit in, which means you exploited any means to be useful or having a purpose, finding anything that would be found useful to other people who made these decisions of including you, which also means the more desperate you become, the more you're willing to allow, which also means you're willing to exploit yourself or exploit whatever means or property or anything you had to survive. This was a time in our evolvement of being human beings, of I want, I take. That's it. And I will take it in any means necessary. There was no exchange needed for this. And if you didn't give, you would be exiled or die. We evolved with that. We all kind of sunk in with this. And so we just gave and we just allowed, and we didn't have boundaries. And it was, as long as I am surviving, then everything is fine. And I bring this up because we have truly evolved past caveman mentality, although sometimes we get stuck in that, or we believe that we're still there and we are still continuing the cycle of allowing others to dictate who we are, what we need to do, who we need to be, what our beliefs are, just so that we fit in. And there's a reason why. And I want to explain that. And this is really important that we understand that, because we may be stuck in the old mentality of community for literal survival, which is why for many, even for you, even for me, that we have struggled with that need to fit in. But that's the old way. And that is the ancient way of survival. What's happening is that we are bringing the negative energy of our past lives into our current one. When we have that overwhelming feeling or sense or draw to be accepted by everybody, and we're so afraid of what would happen because we don't want others to single us out or to exile us from being accepted into that social norm groups. Well, here's the thing. And as you are going further into your awakening, and the more that we're trying to understand this, it's true. I have been going through my awakening for years and years and years. First of all, it's never going to stop. You have your whole lifetime, and you're going to be evolving and learning and growing and things making more sense. Because right when you think that you understand things completely, you're getting a new layer of it. And this is part of something that was just reminded to me recently, and this is why this is coming up, is that as we still have some of our energy tethers tied into these old negative lifetimes, we're bringing all that back. And these are the lifetimes, the ones where you dared to be different, or you stirred the pot of beliefs or norms, the ones that you chose to be authentic or say no, and you were ostracized for it, or worse, you were imprisoned, tortured, killed, etc., 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 etc. But this is your reminder. This is your reminder that you are safe in this lifetime, and we need to pull our energy cords out of those negative ones. We need to pull them back. We need to bring them in. And we need to put that energy into the ones where we survived and we did wonderful things, because we've done many lifetimes and we have experienced the entire spectrum. So we need to go back and remember. And if you can't, and if that's not something you understand how to do, or if that's not where you're at, that's okay. You need to bring yourself into the present. That's the key. Bring yourself into the present and lie to yourself if you have to until you feel it or you understand it, and say, I am safe. I am safe in this lifetime. And the more I allow myself to be me, the more I allow myself to speak my truths, the more I allow myself to be seen for who I truly am, the more I will be accepted. Faster I will find my people. You may lose people in your life by standing for what you believe or feel that is your truth, but this is not the caveman days anymore, or the witch trials, or I'm thinking of another timeline, those barbaric times where, I'm thinking Braveheart style. I don't even know what to put my name onto it. But the point is that as you were growing and as you were pulling yourself into this and as you're becoming more that awareness of who you are and speaking your truths and going on that path, you are going to shed the old frequencies from which you have risen. You're going to shed from those who are not ready or may never be ready to change or evolve just as you are. And it may hurt, and that part may be scary. However, you now have the power to choose your community. And that's the difference. And that is the difference of back of the history of our mankind into where we are now. You have that power. You can choose those who match your vibration and have those shared interests. Because by doing that, it will bring you a feeling of emotional safety, of acceptance and love. We're not talking about basic survival anymore. And this is something that goes along with it. And I felt it was so important to have this conversation as we're talking about community and finding our people and adjusting out of the old ways into the new one. Let us, as we build our communities and as we are making these changes, let's support one another instead of competing. Our egos get in the way and cause further separation when we're doing this, inflaming our jealousy, envy, contempt, etc. But instead, let's be inspired by the things we would have been jealous of or envious of, and ask questions and then create it for ourselves in our own way that is meant for us. We can get so much more done if instead we see each other not as competition, but as allies, as part of a community, networking together for the best interest of each other. As we reviewed at the end of season 2, I brought up the key to everything was balance. That's the key for a healthy relationship to work in any form whatsoever. It is an exchange of giving and taking. That's the balance, giving and receiving. It's not one way. And it doesn't have to be equal all the time, but eventually in the long run, we do equal out. Every relationship is an exchange of needs, okay? Loving relationships, okay? So we have our partners or spouses, whatever it is. That's emotional support. We need that. In our friendships, we need that acceptance and validation. Yeah, that validation. Copper knows and we know, whether we make no sense or not, we just someone to hear like, I get you. I hear you. I'm on your side, even though we could be completely wrong, okay?
At least we're wrong together.
Exactly. But sometimes we just need to feel that. But that's the balance of that. We can give that energy of a validation, like, you got this, or I got you. But that's what that's about. But it's also, even business is an exchange. It's an exchange of goods or service. But it's always remembering it's not always giving. Remember, it's that balance of receiving too. And all of it. Imagine what we can do, bringing up this whole business part, because imagine what we can do if we changed the way business was done, if we led with the concept of balance, removing the unhealthy or extreme competition that often leads to negative results, at least for one party. It is that ego, the super ego kicks in and it's like, well, I need this, and to get more, I have to take, and I have to take. And you know what? And for me to succeed or to be the big dog, I have to demolish all the little ones. Really, this goes for any relationship too, but I'm bringing it because business is done that way. And I've noticed this over and over again. And for anybody in the type of work that I'm doing, or really, it's really any work, I'm just bringing this out there that we are evolving too out of that old mentality where we should be supporting for the best interest of all involved, including yourself, your clients, your customers, the patients, the members of a group, etc., etc. Because if we can lead that way, in the end, in this situation, and by doing this, everyone here is supported and get what they need and feeling whole as a community. we have been in this situation, or we have been taught, or we have been fed, and it's been part of this old pattern and these old ways and old cycles that we've been taught that there's not enough. And in order to get or to be abundant or to be prosperous or to have wealth, let's put it that way, we have to fight for it and we have to claim it and we have to take it from others. But that's not true. There's always been more than enough. Always, 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 always. But that competition runs high because, again, that's what we were taught and it kicks in. But it's becoming into an awareness when that happens. Awareness is everything, people. Don't feel guilt, don't feel shame, and don't feel anything else that you, whether you're going through this or really any phase in your life and you're wondering, why did it take me so long? Why didn't I see that? It's meant to happen when it's meant to happen. We need to stop fighting that and not grieving over that, but being proud of ourselves and saying, okay, I get it. Because right now, like I said, you can't do anything about the past. The present is where your power is at. So take it now, and now is when you make those changes. Now is when we get to evolve and we get to inspire more. And the point of all of this and what I wanted to share in this is that to tell you and make sure you understand that you are safe. You are safe to believe and be what you feel. If you are exiled from one community, you now have the power to find or create a new. You will never be alone. There are others out there as you were growing and changing and you were raising your vibration. You were shedding the old ones because they can't hold on anymore. Because it's really heavy. When others choose not to evolve with you, it gets too heavy and they can't hold on to you. And you do not have to minimize yourself or stop your growth or stunt it or slow it. Be that person, because either you're going to inspire them to grow with you, or they're going to have to make their own choice. And you have to allow them to make their own choice not to. It's not for you to choose. You make the choices for you. And it may been a part of their path. And maybe it might be that time to find your community. Find yours. Find the one that fills your soul, the one that supports you for who you are and loves you no matter your choices. It exists, I promise. Because if you don't have it, it's time to find it. How do you find it? Allow it. Just allow it and be patient. But I also want you to know that this is what the About Healing Retreat will be about. This is one of the biggest reasons why I feel drawn and why I have been guided to create this. It is about connecting to the community of others who believe, who experience and share similar vibrations. This is going to be, I already know, I can feel it. I'm getting chills. Like, oh, my heart is racing and I can't wait. It is going to be such a high vibrating event because of the people that are going to be drawn there. It is about creating a network of support, exchange of knowledge and energy. This is not going to be something about me standing up there and sharing everything. No. This is about learning from each other and having other people there sharing wonderful things that we can all take with us as we continue to grow. So, welcome back, everybody. I'm telling you, this season's going to be amazing, and I hope you enjoy it as we journey through the new topics and guests, exchanging wisdom and experience for energetic love and support. Again, exchange. While we are building a community of light workers with similar purpose of awakening our light to raise the collective consciousness of this planet. So until next time, you beautiful, bright souls, be kind to yourself. With so much love and gratitude, I want to thank you for listening to this week's episode. My hope today is that the message continues to guide you along your path to healing. To learn more about me and my purposeful work, visit my website at abouthealingmedium.com. You can also follow About Healing Medium on Facebook and Instagram, where you can find the episode's healing guidance, quotes, tips, insights, and chances to win free stuff. To ask a question or to share comments, email me at abouthealingpodcast@gmail.com, or feel free to reach me on Facebook and Instagram at About Healing Medium. Until next time, be kind to yourself.